Sveiki laidos Kažkas naujo žiūrovai, aš žurnalistė ir laidos vedėja Ugnė Martusevičiūtė. Sveikinuosi su jumis iš TV3 LT studijos. Studijoje kalbėsime su ypatinga viešne nuotoliniu būdu, nes skambinsime tiesiai į Niujorką. Ir kalbėsime su Grammy nominante, kuri jau antrą kartą nominuota, Nicole Zuraitis. Nicole turi lietuviškų šaknų ir yra šiemet nominuota geriausio džiazo vokalinio albumo kategorijoje tarp 5 ryškiausių aukščiausio kalibro pasaulinių žvaigždžių. Labai įdomu bus sužinoti, kaip Nicolei tai pasisekė, kaip jai sekasi gyventi Niujorke ir siekti muzikantės karjeros. Tiesa, Nicole yra lankiusis Lietuvoje. 2019 metais ji koncertavo Klaipėdos pilies džiazo festivalyje kartu su orkestru. Tai priminsime Nicolei šį įvykį ir pasikalbėsime apie Lietuvą, kalbėsime anglų kalbą su Nicole tiesiai iš Niujorko. So, hello Nicole, it's very nice to see you, to have you here. Thank you.
It's so beautiful to be here with you. I miss coming to Lithuania. I have to come back as soon as possible.
Oh, really? Are you planning to do this?
I don't know. I have to come back to Klaipėda, that's for sure. So, fingers crossed for 2024. I'm ready.
Oh, really?
Let's go.
Okay, we will talk about Klaipėda and Klaipėda Castle Jazz Festival later, but now, how are you? How is the morning? Because it's morning in your country and it's evening in our country.
Normally morning is good, but over Thanksgiving we all got a little bit sick, but you know, every day feels much better now that we have some good news. Despite all the darkness going on in the world, it's nice to have something to celebrate over the holidays with my family. We're all super excited about the Grammy nomination, and it's been a really beautiful month.
Yeah, are you feeling that Christmas spirit already?
Oh, I definitely decorated already. Yeah, that's the first thing I do. The minute Thanksgiving is over, I'm like whipping out the Christmas decorations. I have all the things from my grandma, my grandpa that are very cherished in my heart, and I have them in my little apartment in New York City. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, you were nominated in a Grammy twice, and this year you are nominated in Best Jazz Vocal Album with your album How Love Begins. So how are you feeling about this? It's like a dream for most of the people, I think for you as well.
You know, the first time we were nominated, that was even more wild because we didn't even know that we were even being considered. You know, my husband, Danu Pugachu, and I did an arrangement, and when that was nominated, we went to the Grammys and we were like, how are we here? How are we on the red carpet? Like, I brought my mom and he brought his brother. We didn't bring publicists. So then after that experience, I was like, wow, okay, I really want to come back. I really want to be part of this community because the Grammys, the Recording Academy is about more than just the awards. It's about music cares. It's about Grammy University. It's about giving back. It's about district advocacy. It's really a beautiful thing to be part of. So I've been, you know, really excited to be part of the Recording Academy, but to have my album nominated this year is wow. I really lost me crazy because I'm still an independent artist. You know, we tour all over the world and we do all these shows, but I don't have a big label and I don't have any big machines. So to have like the underdog get the nomination, speaking of dogs, to have the underdog get the nomination was extremely amazing feeling, and I was really grateful.
Why are you working without a big label and just like being an independent artist? It's very hard to do that.
It's extremely difficult. I think that has shifted in such a way that it makes it very difficult to be a musician in general, right? So, you know, with streaming platforms, that took away a lot of revenue streams for musicians. And then with COVID, everything shut down. And so venues and festivals are all backed up from all the cancellations. And then a lot of things that make labels don't take artists that are not already virally famous on like TikTok or social media platforms. And so people, aging geriatric millennials such as myself, who have been like doing this and like having a career for many years, you know, it's not super interesting for a label to take someone who's already, you know, been working. They want like the young fresh meat, but at the same
Okay.
time there's plenty of opportunities to work, so you don't need to have a label. And this Grammy nomination proves to me, and I hope to someone out there who's a musician who might be feeling a little bit discouraged, or maybe feeling like, why can't I get a huge label to pay for everything? You know, I grassroots fundraised for this record. My husband and I, we did everything. We advanced. We booked all the tours and the shows. We got grants. It's been a really nice way to remind artists that even though the industry is hard, if you put the work into it and you put some grit and tenacity and you don't give up, you can achieve things that people don't think you can achieve. And I'm literally saying these things out loud going, holy crap, how did this happen? You know? So I don't know, I hope it inspires a young up and coming artist.
Yeah, let's dream. How would you react if you will win the Grammy? What would it be like? Let's dream.
Well, it would be a dream because my competition is extremely stiff. I'm up against some unbelievable jazz vocalists and just very well-known artists. But if I was to win, I would think of it as a win for every independent artist out there, not just for me. And I think that would just continually motivate me to just create more music, because at the end of the day, it's not about if you win awards or not. It's about if your music is is touching people and making people you know, have an experience at your show. And just the award is just one more avenue to reach more people. So if I win or not, I just want to reach more people with the music so that they are familiar with me, and that we can, you know, somehow connect through the songs that I write.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice message and very important message. So, did you always want to be a singer? What's the dream since your childhood?
Yes. You know, when I was young, I was, you know, a very awkward kid. I was good at sports and I had a really big voice, but I didn't know what to do with it. Like I wanted to sing Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, but I couldn't. And so I started singing classical music, and I loved doing that, but I always was drawn to really big voices and always drawn to jazz. So being a singer is something that ever since I was, you know, 5 years old, I would be like with the hairbrush in the mirror, like you know, like doing all this stuff. But it took me a really long time to become a singer that I identified as somebody worth, you know, listening to. Like I consider myself a late bloomer. I didn't even just start doing jazz professionally until I was like 24 years old. And then I've been, you know, slowly getting the confidence. You know, it took me like 6 years of living in New York to say, I'm a jazz singer. Yeah, I'm a jazz singer. And then, you know, as my confidence has grown, it's definitely not like sky high. That's when that's when I realized, oh, you know, I'm a jazz singer, but I'm a songwriter. Oh, I can say those words. I'm a songwriter. You know, it's been a journey for me, and I think the late bloomer thing is interesting and also maybe inspiring to someone who's like, oh, I'm 26 years old and I'm waiting to, and I love music. Like, oh, I really missed my shot. No, you didn't. Like, you're fine. I didn't even start playing a single show under my name until I was like 20. So everybody's, you're doing fine. You're doing great. That's what I want to say.
It's never too late to start.
It's never too late.
Okay, how old were you when you created your first show? Because it was like connection problems and we didn't hear.
Okay. I would say 20, 25.
Okay.
And then didn't start working under my name in like actual venues until 28.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
I was doing lots of other weddings and stuff, but yeah.
Thank you. So let's talk about your Lithuanian roots, because it's very, very interesting for us. So your grandpa, Daniel, moved from Lithuania when he was a child. And as I already mentioned, you played in Klaipėda Castle Jazz Festival in 2019. You were with the NATO Jazz Orchestra, yes. It was a very nice performance. So let's talk about our country and the memories of it. So was it the first time you visited Lithuania when you were in Klaipėda in 2019?
Yes, and I brought my father, which was beautiful. We're thinking about my grandfather the entire time. We met up with family in Kaunas. That was really beautiful to connect. And then what I always feel about the Lithuanian people in America, in Europe, when I was in Australia, wherever I am, if somebody sees that my last name is Lithuanian and they come to my show and they say, labas, I'm like, whoa, immediately feels like family. Really, it just feels like family. So that connection to me is so sacred and beautiful. And so going to Lithuania for the first time for Klaipėda and, having the mayor and his wife, Inga, just like take us in with this beauty and grace and make us feel like family was incredible. And then the second time I went to Burstines Jazz Festival. That was amazing because friends that I had made in Klaipėda, musician friends, they brought me with their orchestra and big band to play in Burstines, and that whole family vibe is huge. And I also loved playing and working with the students in Lithuania. They're some of the most driven, respectful, kind, and talented that I've come across in all of my years of touring and workshopping. So I have just a beautiful space in my heart, besides obviously in my blood. So
Aww.
For Lithuania.
Nice. So your family, your relatives are still living here in Lithuania?
I just have some cousins that live, near Kaunas. And now I have just a lot of friends that I would consider family that live there too.
Aww. So you never abandoned your Lithuanian roots. You are still in contact with the Lithuanian consulate in New York, yes? And you are participating in various events organized by them and Lithuanian Americans. So what does it mean to you to be Lithuanian? Not to be Lithuanian, but to have Lithuanian roots in your blood?
Well, kind of to go back to what I was saying, that like sacred connection that I feel when I meet a stranger who just happens to be Lithuanian, I'm like, wow, hi family, it's a beautiful thing. We immediately feel this connection, and it immediately makes me think of my grandfather and his family and all the things that they went through when they immigrated from Lithuania to America. I'm extremely grateful to the consulate and to all these incredible Lithuanian leaders of arts councils, of of companies that all rally together and either show up to my shows to support me or have me come, and we'll together do a benefit concert for a cause that we collectively believe in. There's so many opportunities for the Lithuanian community to just really rally together, and I love doing that. For example, I was just in California, and through the Lithuanian Arts Council, I also met the Lithuanian young leaders in California, and then they're in Chicago, and now we got this whole big circle of Lithuanian roots, and it means everything. I call it lighting the beacon. If a Lithuanian sees my name, they come to the show, and then they can come over to my house. Let's go out and have a drink after.
Oh, how nice it is. And you have a picture painted by a Lithuanian painter behind you, yes? You mentioned it.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even realize I was putting it. I think it's a brass. I wonder if I could show it. My grandfather, he was extremely Lithuanian. He did all sorts of wood carvings and paintings and just like beautiful wood craft and art. But he also has this beautiful brass. I don't know if you would call it a painting if it's made of brass, with two Lithuanian dancers with the traditional garb on. So
okay, so maybe it's
I'll try and take a picture.
Yeah, it's like a picture, not painting.
Yeah, like a brass, a hammered painting. I don't know. I'm a singer, not an artist. Not art.
Oh, that's okay. I think I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So you visited Klaipėda, Birštonas, Kaunas. Which cities have you visited?
Vilnius.
Oh,
Trakai.
Okay, and which you like the most? Which was the most incredible?
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay, you can
like,
just.
Is this like asking who's your favorite baseball player?
Oh,
baseball team in New York? No.
Politely.
No, I mean, this is a really great question. Every town that I went, every city that I went to, I loved the architecture and the beauty and the history. I of course thought that the castle was beautiful, and then Vilnius, I loved walking. You can just walk everywhere there, and there's always something beautiful to see. Same with Kaunas. I loved that as well. I actually really loved Nida.
Yes.
Outside of Klaipėda. That to me felt like a deep soul connection, and I love the beaches within that region as well.
What do you think about our sea? Did you swim in there or not?
I've only been, the second time that I went and I got to actually go to the sea was March, so a little chilly, but I went for a beautiful hike with my friend, and I also, everything. What I tell people in America, I said, "Have you been to Lithuania yet?" And they said, "No. What's there?" I'm like, everything, everything you want. It's beautiful. You can see the sea. You can see cultural architecture. The people are wonderful. The food is wonderful, and the beer is strong. So like, let's go.
I see what you are doing here.
Can I be the cultural ambassador? Yeah, you guys are gonna put me on like in a beer advertisement. I'm ready.
Oh, it's okay. I can understand you. You live in New York, and as we mentioned, as we all know, it's very hard for musicians all over the world, I think, but especially in New York, because it's very big competition. It's a lot of musicians, a lot of music and everything. So how did you get there? How did you get to the Grammys? Tell me your story about your glory.
about the glory. That makes me so happy. Yeah, so obviously I always loved the music, and I was singing opera. So I went to college to study classical voice. But while I was studying classical voice, I was also studying and transcribing jazz music and really getting into songwriters like Carole King and Stevie Wonder, much to the dismay of my classical teachers. And so when I graduated, I had been also working at a jazz camp in the summers, and in exchange for scholarship, I would get to go to the no, in exchange for working in the office, I would get to go to the jazz camp for free. And then I started to shadow teachers that were amazing jazz singers like Sheila Jordan, Kevin Mahogany, Karen Allison, Stephanie Nicasian. And as I shadowed those teachers, I was like, wow, jazz is really like complicated but beautiful and like diverse art form. And so I did like 2 years of opera young apprentice programs, and then eventually I said, classical music is beautiful, but I am really drawn to improvisatory music, and I love to write. So I completely shifted and changed careers when I was 25 years old. Somehow got a break to sing at the same jazz festival of the camp that I was going to. Made my first jazz album, which was a learning experience. And then from there was like, well, I guess I better move to New York. So just my cousin and I, also Lithuanian, she and we moved to Astoria, Queens, and we got a one-bedroom apartment and put 2 twin beds on either side of the room, and so that we could save money. And I started to go to find work, and not as a singer, because as I mentioned before, I didn't really, I was a late bloomer. I wasn't really sure if I even could have the audacity to call myself a jazz singer yet. And so I went to work at Sarah Beth's at Central Park, and just working as a hostess. And then from there, somebody was like, I'm getting married. And I was like, do you need a singer? And they said, I have a singer, honey, but you should call this agency if you want to work for them. So I auditioned for a wedding agency, and I started doing weddings for many years. And from that agency, that's when I learned how to play the piano, because I'm a self-taught pianist and I never really knew how to play. But for the weddings, a way for me to make more of a living and to make more money was for me to play the piano and sing. So because I needed to make money and work, I was playing the piano and singing. And slowly but surely, my piano chops got stronger, and I learned so much music by playing weddings and playing in the background of like restaurants and all these other gigs that, without realizing it, I was practicing, 5 hours a day essentially when I was doing these shows. And
That's a
so
lot.
slowly I kind of came into my own confidence as a musician. And then I started putting myself out there with different uh, clubs and trying to get in with the clubs, and, got a residency here, got a residency here. Then people are asking you. And then I got a couple touring bands, did the whole thing. And, next thing you know, I'm doing big competitions and somehow winning, or somehow placing, and then somehow having residencies at clubs like Birdland and in the city, and just touring with my music. It's the ladder goes like this. Not everybody gets to make a TikTok video go viral and then everyone's like, here. Most people are starting from here and then climbing step by step up the ladder to try and get to a place where they feel that they have accomplished something that they can be proud of. So everyone's journey is different, and I really want to make sure that musicians who watch this know that, the end all be all is not like the Grammys or something that's validating. It's like you can choose your own goal. And if your goal is just to make a living by playing music, then you've already won.
Okay, so Nicole, it's very nice to see you, to talk to you, and it's maybe the last question, I don't know. What do you want to wish for your listeners in Lithuania or for someone who are watching our show?
Oh, I just want to say hi. I want to say
Simple.
that, yeah, just I'm really, truly, it is an honor, and I have so much pride of my Lithuanian heritage. I talk about it all the time. It's really important and special to me. And like I said before, when I meet people from Lithuania, I really feel that like soul connection.
Thank you, and I'm really looking forward to go to your concert here in Lithuania. It will be a pleasure.
Yes. You were it was so wonderful to talk to you and interview with you. You're terrific. You're great. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. So I need to say goodbye for you for now. Goodbye for you and for your dog.
She's done.
So thanks a lot. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Taigi, ką tik girdėjote pokalbį su Nicole Zuraitis, kuri prisijungė pasikalbėti su mumis nuotoliniu būdu tiesiai iš Niujorko. Aptarėme jos visą kelią muzikoje ir, žinoma, santykį su Lietuva. Tikiuosi, jums patiko. Sekite ir toliau kažkas naujo laidas ir skaitykite TV3 LT portalą. Iki!